Hi, sir. Evening.
Hi, good evening. I'm just waiting on the others, okay?
No problem.
Okay.
Sir, quick question.
Go ahead.
You do what you call this now? Um, you don't do authoring.
Well, there's nobody that is an author. There's nothing called authoring. You mean writing?
Well, to overview actually.
You mean to edit?
Yes.
How much you paying me?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Well, we have to talk outside of the class. You have to pay me for something like that. You have to. You actually draft a contract and all of that. But we'll talk. If you're serious, you can WhatsApp now. We talk outside of class, okay?
All right, sir. No problem.
Alrighty. We are supposed to have a guest lecturer. Let me call him. All right, for the persons who are here, we're supposed to have a guest lecturer. We're not supposed to. We're having a guest lecturer today, and he's going to talk about, or here he is. He's going to show us how to do PowerPoint presentation as well as using Google Analytics, not Google Analytics, my previous class, and how to use Excel to also present. So
good evening. Sorry
yeah.
about being.
So give us 2 minutes before you start, Panton. I think let's just give about 2 more minutes or so for the others to get here, at least a quorum of the students.
All right, cool.
All right. All right, go ahead, Panton. You can begin when you're ready.
All right. All right. You've introduced me already, Robin. I'm assuming.
Yeah? No, I haven't. Let me do that. Sorry.
All right.
Let me do it. Okay, so good evening, guys. This is our the college's marketing officer, Ricardo Panton. He has been with us 3 years now. Panton, is it 3?
Yeah. 2019. Yeah.
So
Since 2019. I use the year.
So it's 2019 you joined us, right?
Yeah, 2019.
So it's 2 years and counting.
Yeah.
2 years and counting. So he's in the Office of Marketing, Media and Communication. I'm actually his supervisor, and he does tremendous work in the office. And he's very, very good at PowerPoint presentation and how to include for example, excellent presentations. Most of the time when the office has any presentation to do, I just say to him, work your magic and, produce something of that is very visual. And, in business communication, visual communication is very important. How you make large chunks of information very palatable, especially if you're in a boardroom setting. Mr. Panton has a lot of experience in that area, and he knows that even in our own office, we have to do these kinds of presentations. So I think it's a very important skill to learn as students who have to do business communication, and many of you are actually working. It's a talent, it's a skill that you should develop, and it's very important. So I'll hand over now to the college's marketing officer, Ricardo Panton.
All right, thanks for that, Mr. Clark. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for the opportunity, Robin, to present to your class on this very important issue. So I'll start off by asking a very simple question. Walking down the road, and this is for open discussion. Walking down the road and we say, I'm seeing only females here. So walking down the road, we see this gentleman dressed in a nicely fitted suit, a blue suit, and his hair is well cut, and his tie is up to the neck. He has a briefcase walking, and he smells great. And there's this other gentleman that is walking on the other side of the road, and he has on ripped jeans, and the ripped jeans is under his bottom, boxers showing, has on a marina, has, not to sound discriminatory, but has a spliff in the side of his mouth, and his ear is all up in the air. Which one would you more be enticed to look on or have a conversation with? It's a question, gentlefolks.
Please talk.
Yeah, please talk.
The one with the nice smell, yeah.
The smell. So you say smell first. Okay. Why would you speak to the one in the suit and the one with the nice smell as opposed to the other one? Camila, you started answering.
Okay, so the reason why it would depend on the type of person that I am and what I'm actually looking for. So a person, once I see a spliff and pants way below where it should be, then that is a big turn off for me. So I wouldn't bother to look in his direction.
Okay, all right, perfect. Let me get one more response, please. We'll address everything you just said just now, Camila. Do I have to call on people? I'll just go by how it's shown on my screen. So Dervit. Dervit. Georgette. Jahim, are you going ahead, Jahim?
Yes, sir. I'm just coming to right now.
Okay, all right. So let me rephrase the question. So there's this young lady there are two young ladies walking on the road. One has on a nice dress, and she smells great. Her hair is well done, has on nice makeup, and she's walking by you. And then there's this other young lady that has on she's bleached out. She have on her ripped jeans, her slippers, two different pair of slippers she have on. Who would you more inclined to talk to? Who do you feel more comfortable talking to?
The clean one.
The clean one. And why is that so?
I'm like Scabby.
You know, like Scabby. All right. So the essence of the examples and this question is that looks matter. Looks are very, very important. And you only get one opportunity to make a first impression. So you have to use that opportunity very, very, very good. Making a bad impression on the onset from the beginning and then having to undo all of that to make a great impression can be very, very difficult. So start with the best foot forward. In business communication, there's a verbal, there's a non-verbal component of communication. For persons to be more inclined or to want to listen to you, what you're saying to them, and we'll go through itemized, we'll go through it in an itemized way. For them to listen to you, they have to be interested in what you're saying, and what you're showing them has to look presentable. It has to look good in some sense or the other. So this session will be about helping you, giving you some tips. It is a very time consuming effort. It's very time consuming to create good PowerPoint presentations, but the be all and end all of it is worth it. So I'll give you some tips as to how about creating them. I'll give you an opportunity to use a few minutes and let me mute this mic. Use a few opportunity. Oh, not us. Jahim, mute your mic, please. Thanks. So
Unmute Pantan. I muted everybody. Just unmute. Sorry.
all right, man. So I'll give you the opportunity to utilize in a very short space, in a very summarized space to utilize some of the skills that I'm showing you. Excel is both PowerPoint and Excel are exhaustive softwares. So I won't be able to teach you everything about each of them now, but they serve different purposes and cross purposes as well. So I start sharing my screen now. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So are you seeing the screen, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
So this session, as mentioned by Mr. Clark, by myself earlier, is to give tips on how to make great PowerPoint presentations. I'll give it in a very theoretical way, and I'll walk you through. This is the advised way. How I do it might be a little bit different. How you may learn how to do it might be a little bit different. But the be all and end all of it should be something that's very aesthetically pleasing. Should look good to everybody you're presenting to, and it makes a huge difference at the end of the day. So what is a great PowerPoint presentation? One that is prepared to win. So it's well researched, planned, prepared professionally, so you can deliver the right message to your target audience effectively. It is designed correctly, with points that are illustrated and visually stand out without overwhelming your audience or unnecessarily complicating your message. Must be practiced to perfection, rehearsed and timed to your points. Points land as practice with your live audience, delivered with poise. And I'm sure Mr. Clark is teaching you all the skills as to how to deliver written and verbal and non-verbal communication with poise. How you speak, how you enunciate, the choice of words you use, all of that should be applied to creating great PowerPoint presentations and delivering to your target audience. It should be free from mistakes, devoid of cheesy clip art, non-essential flashiness, miscues like reading directly from pointers, and other easy to avoid problems. So another key thing to remember in doing PowerPoint presentations is that it is summed up, or it should be summed up. So it shouldn't be a case where you're reading a 300 word or 3,000 word or 1,500 word essay from a PowerPoint presentation. It should be short, it should be concise and to the point. Now, you may need, in doing a PowerPoint presentation, you may need to bring additional notes with you so you can expand and expound on your points when speaking to your target audience. So say, for example,
Sorry, Pantan. Can you go full screen for this slideshow?
oh, all right. All right. Better?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So say for example you work at Wisinko and you have this brilliant idea. So you work at Wisinko and work in accounts, but through traveling and transportation every day going to work, you realize a gap in the market that Wisinko can probably capitalize on. So the gentleman in halfway tree that sells bag water and bag juice. You see where Wisinko can possibly mass create that and sell it to those persons to resell. So something similar to what JP does, the banana company. So they give vendors their products to sell and then they sell it and then they get a part. So you see where bag water and bag juice can make a whole lot of sense for persons who are from the lower spectrum of the economic scale, and you want to pitch this idea to your your VP in charge of marketing, you'd have to, as this says, put proper research into it. Is this actually something that makes sense? How do they do this? Who actually does it? What does it cost? What goes into making it? Is it potentially financially viable? You have to research all of that information, put it together in a way that when you speak to your marketing manager, your VP in charge of marketing, they are able to receive that information openly and in a very nice way as well. So this will create a number of opportunities for you. You are an accounting officer, or you're a cashier at the front desk at Wisink, or you are a telephone operator. But your VP, having seen the detailed information and how graphically appealing you put together something in presenting to them, may create other opportunities for yourself, and it may create opportunities for the company you work for. Following me? Okay, I cannot sleep.
Yes, sir.
Sure you're following?
Following.
Following. Okay, perfect. Um, so know your target audience. I'll ask someone to read this real quick for me. A volunteer, please.
Know your audience. The target audience for your presentation is the group of people who you want to listen to or view your presentation. Not all audiences are the same. Audiences vary depending on your company's goals. A presentation that works well with one audience may not work well or at all with another. Researching your target audience is a very important is a very important first step for creating any kind of marketing or informational material that includes PowerPoint presentations. If you really want your presentation to be successful, you need to understand your target audience well.
Is it my internet? Georgette? Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes.
Oh, I think it's Georgette's internet. So this goes back to my initial point. Understanding, putting proper research into doing a presentation. So understanding or knowing as much about your VP in charge of marketing and the marketing manager and the brand manager and the business development officers who will be a part of this presentation is critical, because they may be super busy and they only have 5 minutes out of the day that they can spare to listen to a pitch that you're making. So making that pitch, you'll have to be as detailed and concise. And it is very ironic because they need both of those things. So in that 5 minutes span, you need to provide sufficient information without boring the audience and allowing them to understand your pitch so they can buy into your pitch. And a lot of times, especially from a business perspective, an entrepreneurial perspective, a pitching ideas perspective, people have very short space of time to listen to what you're saying. So very, very frequent, it's a time span between 10 and 15 minutes. So you need between 10 and 15 minutes to communicate something clearly to your boss, to persons you're supervising, to a group of business associates, to your classmates. You need that concise time to present something to them and get them to buy into what you're saying. So, for example, I am doing a presentation to kindergarten children about doing presentations. Would I use this format? Would I have any form of reading in there? Or would I have mostly photos, very few reading, a lot of videos, a lot of other visual elements to it? Because they have far shorter attention spans than we as adults do. They may not know all these words that we have here, so they probably don't even know what presentation means, probably don't know what target audience means. So I'd have to tailor this entire presentation to fit into a 6-year-old understanding it and appreciating what I'm saying. We following?
Yes, sir.
Have any questions so far? All right. So I mean, I'm very clear. So we start with an outline.
No, sir.
Oh, no questions? Or I'm not clear. Which one? All right. Seems like I'm clear.
You're clear.
Oh, perfect. So we start with an outline. Once you've researched your target audience and chosen a topic that's relevant to them, it's time to start writing your PowerPoint presentation. The quickest and most efficient way to do this is to use an outline. Plus, an outline can easily be converted to individual slides when the time comes. Be sure to use language that's geared toward your target audience. For most audiences, a conversational style works best. Also, limit the amount of material you put on each PowerPoint presentation slide. Cluttered slides are hard for audiences to follow. Should be audiences. So, as mentioned previously, this is the suggested or recommended way. For me personally, I do it the other way around. So I find a number of PowerPoint presentations from different industries, from different spheres, from all about. And I save them on my personal computer. Now, when there's a time for me to do a presentation, so say for example, we need to present our new marketing plan for the institution for the upcoming year. I'll find a presentation that would best communicate a detailed marketing plan in a very graphically and aesthetically appealing way to the executive who we would be presenting it to. What is being suggested here is you create an outline first, and then you find the ideal PowerPoint presentation. The other way works for me. You have to find out what works best for you. But the end result and the outcome should always be a great PowerPoint presentation, regardless of how you start, regardless of how you go about it. But what is also key is to have an outline. So I will know from notes, from meetings, from recommendations, from emails from superiors, I will know what type of information is required from research, from conversations. I will know, and I'll have my notes, maybe not written down, but in a Word document or on a notepad of what I will have to put in that presentation. Now, I'll find a template that can fit all of that in it, as opposed to the other way around. So you have to have an outline, regardless of how you start or where you utilize the outline. You have to have an outline. So I'll take a moment and I'll send this to Mr. Clark. I'll send this after the class to Mr. Clark, so you can have access to some of the places I go to download PowerPoint presentations. Free templates. There are two here, the last two, Elements and Graphic River, from the same company. Those are premium. But you can find free. I don't know what your pockets are like if you would want to go with the premium quality, or you can get great quality at a no cost to do your presentations. So what I'll do, I'll share these. So this will be important at a little bit further down in the class. So I'll share it in the chat. So I shared it in the chat. And what I'll do as well is I'll show you what some of these look like. So let me open this. So give me 1 second for me to open this. Are we still there?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I'll stop sharing this right now and then share right here. All right, you're seeing the web browser? Are we seeing the web browser?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So on the web browser, this website, what it allows you to do is to download individual individual slides. So it doesn't allow a full PowerPoint presentation to be downloaded. So say for example, you're doing starting a business and you're doing a presentation because you need some funding. This right here is a nice graphic to showcase your mission. So once you're on this website and I click download or open in slides in Google Slides, it brings you to that. There's a dark version, there's a lighter version. So let's go to another one. This internet isn't very fast. Let's go to another one. So this one right here, the cursor is hovering over, is a great one for stating about your targets or your goals. This one over here, you're doing a presentation about social media. You're doing digital marketing and you have a presentation to do. This is a nice slide to pull. Once you download all of these, so view full gallery. Once you download all of these, it's fully editable. The only thing that you may see is a small text box. So the text box down here where they're speaking about smile templates, and that can be deleted. And it's fully editable, can be used for any amount of things that you need it to be used for. So a marketing mix right here, talking about the price, the product, you're doing a marketing plan for class, or you're doing a marketing plan for an investor. They want to see a marketing plan because you say you sell the fruit bag juice all across Jamaica, and they want to see the marketing plan. They need to see the marketing mix. So the 7 P's they need to see, and how you will apply all 7 P's to your new product or the product that you're proposing. So this one allows you to download the full PowerPoint templates. So it gives you different themes you can download from. So this one is a ocean, plastic pollution, Easter. You're doing a presentation at church for Easter. This is a nice one because we're fully remote now and only 10 people can be in church. You're one of those 10 persons and you don't want people to be cooking and cleaning at the same time. You want them to pay attention to what you're communicating to them. Then this is a perfect one to use. Has a lot of nice graphics in there. It's the different Easter eggs. There are different qualities. You're doing something about cybersecurity because you're developing a new website and you don't want what happened to jam COVID to happen to your website. So you're proposing this at your internal department meeting. And it has a whole lot of range. So see, this goes up to maybe 15, 20 that you can download and fully access and utilize. This website allows you to download some infographics. So the use of infographics, as we'll see when I proceed with my presentation, allows you to communicate figures in a more easily received way than using words. So you're presenting a research project, or you're presenting, you work at a company that does research and you're presenting the information, and you're called to TVJ to show how many people catch COVID from workplace clusters compared to how many catch it from the taxis, how many from the buses, and you're presenting this to the nation. You don't want it to be too ready because it's a general population. Not everybody is on the same reading level. Not everybody has the same attention span. So you have to use something that this color is different. So they'll bear with you while they read through this color. This one is different, and so forth and so forth. Now this one has a little bit more sophisticated templates because it's premium. So people spend a lot more time in developing these because the intention is to resell them. So you have a gesture. Let me find one that may be very applicable right now. So business consulting. So business consulting, again, you're doing a presentation to your organization, and with the new bag juice, you want to utilize this one. So you have to pay for PowerPoint presentations or templates from this website, while the other 3, as showed, are free. The other 3 are free. So let me stop sharing this. Do you have any questions so far?
No, sir.
No questions. Okay, so let me just come back
Sir, do you
to.
have something? I see the link here, but do you have something I can download it to save it on your computer, right?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, what I did, I went on all of these and I have a folder on my computer that I save them in. So
Oh,
I'll show you some examples at different presentations that I've done from an
okay, sir.
Excelsior perspective and from other stuff that I'm involved in. Most notably sporting components. So I'll showcase those. Um, so I download them and I keep them on my computer
I,
because I can promise you, once you're working, once you intend to work, once you're going to school, once you want to be productive in any sense or form, there will be a need to present something. Yep, this is something I can't avoid any at all. Once there's some amount of productivity in you, there will be a need. So if we know that there'll always be a need, why not have these in the bank so you can just pull on them when it's needed? It saves a lot of time because for me, I need to find the perfect template to communicate what I'm communicating before I can start doing it. So I can spend upwards of hour, 2 hour, even though I have templates on my computer. I can spend 30 minutes, 40, 45 minutes trying to find the perfect, quote unquote, perfect template to communicate what I'm trying to communicate because it has to hit home to the audience I'm presenting to. So we want to keep it, hold on, I need to move this. We want to keep it short and to the point. One of the most important things is to remember is that PowerPoint is a tool to support your story. Avoid putting the literal text on the screen. Instead, try and shorten your bullets and keep it to the point. This causes your audience to focus on you instead of the slides on the screen. So what not to do on the left, what to do on the right. Using graphics always helps. Can't be too ready, but it should have sufficient information. And you should, as we go along, you will realize critical how critical it is for you to be prepared. So if you aren't prepared, you will do a ready presentation because you'll want to use that time to share what is being read from the screen to your target audience. But if you are prepared, you have practiced, you have read upon everything that you're supposed to read upon, then having 5 keywords, having 5 broad topics will allow you to expound on each of them as you go along. And a key point to note, not all this is not exclusive. So you have to be able to, similarly to going to school, you have to know when to apply a particular knowledge or set of knowledge and when not to. When to say, okay, I need this to be a little bit longer than it is recommended to be, or I need this to be way shorter than it is recommended to be. You have to accept the knowledge and apply it as you go along or as the need comes along. So I have to choose the right font. Try and pick a classic font instead of a creative one. Picking the wrong font can easily cause your text to be unreadable for your audience. Besides that, if the computer you're presenting on does not have the font you used you font you used installed, PowerPoint will replace it with a common one. And then these are some of I would add Times New Roman to this, that are fonts that are used on an Arial Calibri here, Arial and Arial Black. So those are on most, if not all, computers. So this on the left, don't do that. It's way too hard to read, and you don't want to create any barriers in your communication. You want to eliminate as many barriers as possible. The size matters. So picking the right font size can be difficult. On the one hand, your audience needs to be able to read whatever you put on the screen. On the other, you don't want your text to dominate the space on your slide. For headers, the minimum is around 20 points, while for the body, you have a minimum of 18 points. With these sizes, you can be assured your text will be legible in every situation. This goes for laptops, computers, tablets, TVs, and beamers. So again, consume this knowledge and apply it as the needs come by. It might be that you just need to have one statement on a PowerPoint slide, and that is it. But you won't be able to communicate effectively with having something at 18 points on a slide. So you may need to make it bigger than 20, may need to make it about 50, and that is it. It may be a communication where you need to communicate that this is critical and this is urgent and you need to shout. So you put something that is no, and no is 150 points. And that is okay because that is what you're trying to communicate in that moment. So generally speaking, this is recommendations, but you need to be able to apply. Still with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Usually your text is supported by a low quality image. We often see that when people are talking about a car, the first picture that on Google Images is picked. This results in inconsistency because some images tend to be illustrations and drawings, making your presentation look unprofessional or even childish. Make sure you select high quality images that support your message. So on this point, I want to show everybody something. And I hope we already know this and I'm just doing this for the sake. So you're resizing that image. You never resize that image like this. You never resize that image like this. Never, ever, ever do that. The only way to resize that image is by here. So what this does, when you resize it from here, it evenly distributes, it evenly resizes from a horizontal and a vertical perspective. So it doesn't comes out pixelated or distorted. One of the worst things that can happen is you're showing something and it says nice car and it's showing like that because you want it to fit. All right, you want it to fit. You want it to fit perfectly in this little space here. So you do this. And it doesn't look good because it shows that it was resized and not resized properly. Always resize from here. All right. Are we still following?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So relevance and quality are key. Showing data, showing data on your slide, visualize these as much as possible. And this is where the use of those infographics is very, very important. So whenever your presentation contains a lot of data, it might be easier. And I'll just say data. I'll remove a lot here. Once it contains data, because we
Volume
know...
a little bit down, Panton.
Huh?
Your volume is a little bit down.
Mine? Hold on, I'm gonna turn it up. I think it's higher now. Higher now?
Yes.
Oh, is the headset I was using. So we have a figure phobia, and I don't know if figure phobia is a correct word, but we have a figure phobia and a math phobia here in Jamaica. So anytime people see figures or any equation or any statistics, them brain just start shut off. So we have to understand this as bad as it sounds and as bad as it is in Jamaica. We have to understand this is the audience we are dealing with. This is the potential audience. So we have to make it as easy for them to consume that information that we're presenting to them, understand it, and give us some positive feedback. So once you're presenting any data at all, so before I send this, let me even remove it now and just put once you're presenting data. So once presentation contains data. Once your presentation contains data, it might be easier to communicate this data by using visuals instead of just text. Graphs might give you the results you are looking for. PowerPoint offers a wide variety of donut graphs, which are ideal for making comparisons. For example, pick a donut graph to show your percentage in the middle of the graph. This way, your audience immediately knows what you mean. That is one way. As the years goes up in the Microsoft Office suite, there are new templates, there are new graphs that they give and they offer to everybody. However, those might be too played out. So because every other presentation you're seeing, those are included, it becomes too frequent for people to consume what is on it. So go outside of the box. Utilize the infographics are shared. Utilize the other other PowerPoint templates that are shared. Utilize those, and different will be more appealing for people. Simplify tables as much as possible. Tables are usually crammed with information and numbers. This causes the slide to look crowded and chaotic. In this case, it is important to visualize the tables as simple as possible. Delete unnecessary outlines, colors, and borders. Keep it simple, and less is more are key phrases to take in mind while designing tables. And this is very, very clear. Why the one on the right is a lot easier to read. Or let me ask, is it a lot easier to read for you than the one on the left?
Like the one on the left.
The one on the left is easier for you to read?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
that's very interesting. That's what you say as well. Carry on.
Yes, sir.
The
The
one on
one
the
on the
left
left.
easier?
Yes, it is easier to read.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Is
But it's
probably
color coded.
The one on the left is easier to read, being that the color
okay.
brings up the actually.
All right, maybe because I wear glasses. So again,
I
what
wear glasses and the one on the left is easier.
and the one on the left? All right. Okay.
Right.
So what I'll say is, as I've been consistently saying, use the knowledge that I'm sharing, but apply it. So the consensus here, the audience here is saying the one on the left is easier to read. So what will I do when I am doing a presentation that contains presenting figures in a table? I'll use the one on the left because the target audience thinks that is easier to read for them. Follow?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I've gone through this at some level already. So practice your PowerPoint. Go through it, proofread it, have somebody else proofread it, stand in the mirror and read through it. Practice your PowerPoint. All right. So that is it for the presentation there. So what I'll do now, you have all the I shared the templates in the slide. I shared all the templates in the slide. So what I'll do, I'll break it up in groups. I have to be host to do that, right? Or I'll just ask Robin to break up in groups. And I'll ask each group to download one of those PowerPoint slides. And I'll give you until 8 to come up with, so we have how many persons? 12 persons. We can get 3 groups of 4. So I'll ask each group to do a presentation on why communication is important. So this is something that you would have discussed at some level already. So you should have this information. Nobody not answer to that one. All right. Robin, I don't think I can create the breakout groups. So if you could do breakout groups summit in with 4s. Are you there, Robin? Not hearing Robin now. Mr. Clark?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm asking you to create breakout groups of 4s. So they have a quick work to do.
We gave it to them already?
Yeah, man. Are we understanding what I'm asking us to do?
Yes, sir. And you said this will be done by 8. We are to present by 8.
Yeah. You don't need more than 15 minutes, man. I might give an additional 5 minutes in case.
Okay.
But I don't need anything too exhaustive. I just wanted to apply as many of the points that I have shared as possible. And remember, there are tips. So some may apply to this, some may not apply to this. And utilize the knowledge as best as possible. So Robin, if you can create those breakout groups of 4, we have 12 people here, 12 students. So that should give us 3 groups. Yeah. And
So
I'll just pop in on
group.
each group. All right. So I'll pop in.
Let me make a co-host because I don't think you can just pop in like that. I have to make a co-host. So I make a co-host so you can pop in. But hold on, then put you in one group. I never tell you to put you in a group. Main session. Why they put you? What pattern is supposed to go into?
I'm not supposed to, huh?
No, I see like they put you in a group. So me I
Oh,
wonder
yeah,
why
they did.
Mhm.
Oh, all right, good. Co-host. So that means being
You
co-host, I
should be
can go
able
from group to
to,
group. Yeah.
right. You should be able to go from group to group.
All right, that's what I want to do. All right.
Jamil, you're not in a group. Nicole, Olivia, Social White, Yannick, go into the breakout room for me, please.
So we come back at we check them at 8, Robin, and then we give them another 5 minutes to wrap up.
No, just go into the breakout rooms at 8.
All right.
Yeah. Trust me, they're not going to use more time than that. Me not ask you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
All right,
give them
cool.
until 8 and then you start going into the breakout rooms to see where they are.
And
And
then I give
sometimes
them.
they will invite you into the breakout room as well.
All right. Cool.
Clearly, Jahim is not in the class because he's not responding.
Mm-hmm.
I realize it is a course unto itself.
Yeah, it is. And I'm not going in the depths and the details of it. It take a whole part time. Can take a whole part time, man.
Well, if you have time Wednesday, you continue on Wednesday.
Yeah. I can't let you know tomorrow. I supposed to have a meeting Wednesday.
Okay.
Oh,
All
I
right.
remember what I was going to pull up some of these. Where I have them saved now. Can't find these. Robin.
Yeah, you can go in the group now.
Yeah, man. I went in there. Them not really reaching away yet. How much more time must give them? Or
Give them 10 more minutes.
10 more? All right.
Look at this, they're not gonna finish for now. Me know.
All right.
I'm gonna try to make it look pretty like your one. So that's why they might kill themselves.
Oh, all right, all right. I checked 2 of the groups already. I'm going to go in the other 2.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, jump out, sir. Can assign back to the group, please.
You were which group you were in?
With Sahai and Camille, yeah.
Well, I'm
Group
putting
2,
you
group 2.
Group
in
2.
group 2. You haven't gone in the group yet, Jaheem. I've assigned you, but you're not in it. You need to go in. Are you hearing me, Jaheem? You met with all of them now, Panton?
Yeah, I did. I go back, I ended at 8:20.
Okay,
Up
all right.
man. Because I want to touch on the Excel thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any homework for them? What I was thinking is that we could give them something like, give them like a document and ask them to, a Word document, and convert that into a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, you have no assignment that you would have given them recently?
No, we don't reach there yet, but I still want them to present on something. The report writing part comes later in the course, but I still want them to do it way ahead instead of waiting until that point in time to do it.
I'll try to find something. If I don't find it in class, I can send it to you later tomorrow. Something that
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Ouch.
Mr. Clark,
Yes, we're about
could
to
you
close
put
the
me?
breakout room, so I don't know. I'm closing the breakout room, so you can't go in them.
Yeah, man, close them now, Robin.
All
Yeah.
right.
Mr. Robin,
Mr. Clark, for you, thank you very much. Not my first name, please. Go ahead.
yes, can you transfer me back to room 1?
We're
I
closing the
was kicked
breakout
out.
room.
Okay.
Closing the breakout room. Yeah. All right, Mr. Panton, go ahead. You're out the breakout room.
Hi again, everyone. So you got a lot more time than I had envisioned. So what I'll ask is for the groups to just, I'll give it 3 minutes to just present what you have, and you can walk us through some of the challenges that you were having outside time constraints. So group one, go ahead, please. Real quick.
Group one.
I'll bring up the slide.
Okay.
Remember to share screen as well.
You guys seeing it now?
We are.
Yeah.
Well, what we have is what is communication, and communication refers to the human beings responding to the symbolic behavior of other persons. We also give another definition, which communication means sending or receiving information such as telephone lines or computer. And we have the importance of communication, which is aids in our professional life and personal life, allows others
Not
and
seeing that
yourself to
slide.
understand.
You need to put it in slideshow, and we are
Pardon,
not seeing
sir?
the second slide. Right, you just went, you must go in slideshow when you're doing a presentation online so that we can see what you're, and you don't need to read to us. I think that's one of the first things we're told. We can all read. So you don't need to read what is on the slide.
Yes,
we can
sir, I know.
go into slideshow, and then you click on either from beginning or from current slide or something like that.
Press shift and F5. Oh, all right, I'll do that. From current slide, second from left.
Second from your left, go to your far left and click from current slide.
I want to start from beginning.
So this is our second slide.
Is that
And
how
we
the
look on
should look?
the importance and what is it.
Is that how it should
No,
look?
sir, but we did have a little bit of challenges.
Oh, you had challenge. Right. So don't tell us the content. We could care less about the content because we can read. If you're going to read to us, don't read. Give us the third slide. Let's see what the third slide is like.
Sir, the third slide is same as the first slide because we have a challenge where we're entering the template is giving us 2. But then we reach to the third slide where we could able to delete that slide.
Okay. All right.
All right. So I'll
because
just.
I think the template is kind of hard to use. Right.
All right. So what challenges were you having?
First of all, it's hard to edit. We weren't able to edit.
You
We'd
couldn't
have
edit
to
it?
download it.
Oh, so you couldn't edit in
No,
Google
we couldn't
Slides?
edit. We have to ask permission to edit. No, we couldn't edit in Google Slides.
No, that's something on not on the website's fault, but the device that you're using. So I think this is an okay attempt. So go back to the top slide.
So, sir, yes,
You see what I would have preferred you guys done? Go to the top first slide. What I would have preferred you do is not focus so much on the content, but focus more on finding
on the graphic.
A template. Finding a template that will best communicate what you're trying to communicate. So this is a slide that could be okay as a second or a third or a fourth slide, but not as a title page. So a title page shouldn't have this amount of information on it, or this high quantity of information on it. So I would prefer if you focus on, because we know what communication is, and we're in the class doing business communication. So this is something that you should be speaking about very, very consistently. And the essence of this session is for you to find appropriate templates to fit content into appropriate templates. So I would have preferred if you did it that way, as opposed to try and get so much
The main thing was focusing on the content and not the
Yeah,
other
this
way
is what
around.
it seems like you're doing. No, but I was saying don't focus on the content because I'm not looking for anything too exhaustive because of the time span I give you. Remember, I
Yes,
started
sir.
out by saying that I spend upwards an hour to find a proper template. So if you had spent 15 out of the 20 minutes I got to find a proper template, do a nice starter page and start with a second page, and that will be fine. I hope you're following what I'm saying.
So, sir. Yes, sir. So, could this would more be like a cover page, like?
No, this couldn't be a cover page. So stop sharing. Let me show you my cover page again.
I mean, this slide look too confusing.
Yeah, that's why I shouldn't use that one.
Yeah, but what we were searching, sir, and all of them look confusing
So
and too colorful and
this
all.
was the group I was in when
Yes.
I asked me to look for one. So this is what I found. This is what I found. There. This could be used as a title page. What is communication right there? Could be used right here as well. What is communication right there? So there are slides. But let me show you the one that I was. Oh, I have so many things open. Where is that thing now? So this is the one that I had. And we're moving right along to the other group. So this is the one that I had. So you see how to make great PowerPoint presentations. And that is it. It's not too distracting, not too much things on it. So in going forward, and you'll have a little assignment to do after. Invest the time, and I use invest because you'll get the returns on it. Invest the time in finding a proper template to meet what you're trying to meet. You already know what communication is. You have it on a Word document, you have it in notes. Spend the time and find a proper one.
Yes,
right?
true, sir. But my opinion is that these slides look too fussy.
So use a simplified one. So this is a simplified one. So I used and again you have to remember who you're presenting to. So
Yes, sir.
this is simplified. You see? That is simplified. So this is literally a blue background with yellow writing to make the yellow stand out a little bit more, make the white stand out a little bit more. So be very selective with the audience. Remember, I tell you to apply the knowledge that I'm sharing now,
Yes,
so be very
sir.
selective with the audience. I'm not saying you should use any template from what I suggested. It may just be a black template and you have white writing on it. And that will be sufficient depending on the audience. So a lot rests on the audience. So let's go to group 2 real quick. I want to touch on using Excel. So go to group 2 real quick. I want to share a few that I did as well. Group 2.
So remember, we were the person that you were trying to find the slide for.
You didn't find any?
So it's not working on my laptop.
But there was one that you were
Sorry.
showing,
And the
a
other
blue
person
one.
had left because the internet went. Yes, he was the person who his internet went, and so.
So why would it not work on your laptop?
Think you don't have Windows activated.
She doesn't have Windows?
Mm.
All right, let's
It is
go.
Not Windows, Microsoft. Let's go to the next one. So going forward, Kamalia, Ms. Harrison.
Yes, sir.
Google Slides works. Just have a Google account, and you should have a Google account. Then you
So
can.
I was trying it, but the templates are so simple, so I didn't.
So you may still have this problem tomorrow or next day. So you can download the template, then you open Google Slides, and you upload the template, and you can use it from Google Slides.
Okay.
So with the homework that you're getting, that's what you should do. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so group 3.
Go ahead for me, group 3.
Okay, this is something I didn't say for group 1 that you should ensure that you do. Remove, you see, www.yourwebsite.com, remove that. You have to ensure that you remove that. Because you're presenting to me and then you send this to me, I click on it. has nothing to do what you're doing, and that won't be good in at all. So
Sir,
continue though. Yeah.
um, I can't move it now because my mouse run out of
No man,
battery.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no. Oh, use the keypad. So remember, I showed you how to stretch an image.
Yes, sir. We wanted to fix it, but my mouse battery finished.
So you do know how to fix it.
Yeah, like don't let it look too join out. It must look
So go back up to the first one, to the second slide. Sorry. So do you stretch this from the side? Don't stretch it from the side. Stretch it from one of the what that name, perpendicular angle. From one of the angles at top right, top left, bottom right, bottom left. Those stretch from inside the horizontal lines or inside the vertical lines. That's why it looks like this. So I think this using this image is a nice attempt at trying to utilize images and words, so it's not too wordy for persons to read. Just that you have a whole section where you can put your sources. So you don't need to have the sources on the images here and how you stretch the image. The top slide, I think that is not a great title slide. It is.
Go back to the title slide because I'm saying
Yeah.
we never even commented on it.
Yeah, it's not a great title slide. It's yeah. I think you
There's
can
a disconnect. There's a disconnect
yeah.
between the image and the word. So communication,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing light bulbs.
Yeah, yeah. So it's something that maybe can pass, but it's not something that would hit home to anybody. This is more ideation. So in part of your slide and you say, what am I here to talk about? And you show the suck bag juice there. Not the suck bag juice, the bag of fruit juice that you're proposing to single there. You get what I say in group 2? Group 3?
Yes, sir.
But it was an okay attempt. I expect you to do a lot better when you get the homework.
Okay.
Even here, in using the types of communication, it could have found a nice infographic template to put this in to make it a lot easier to read, or a lot more aesthetically pleasing.
All right, sir.
But this was an okay attempt. So let's look at group 4 real quick, and I share a few others that I've done, and then we touch on Excel. You're from group 4, Renee?
Group
No,
4, go
sharing my
ahead for
screen,
me.
sir. 1 second.
Okay.
Sharing the screen now, sir.
Okay.
Come on, don't give me this problem. Why is this doing this to me now?
Trying to share screen?
Yes, sir. This computer freezing up a bit. Share screen again. All right. Slide share. Are you seeing, sir?
Yes, you see.
Yeah.
So that is slide 1. Slide 2. Slide 3. Slide 4.
Okay, go back to the top. I like where this was going.
From the top, sir?
Yeah.
There.
I'm not sure I love this as a title slide, but I like the idea of persons conversing down there. Not as a
Yeah, I
title slide.
agree,
Yeah.
because communication is not just people talking.
Yeah.
Right. Remember, so now when you're thinking about communication, you have to think about the technologies involved in communication because
So
you're.
sorry,
ahead.
Robin, this could actually be a nice photo for social gatherings.
Right. Right.
But I like the idea behind it though, but you just have to
I
be
would just change the
conscious.
image, this image, because to me it doesn't reflect the contemporary communication. It reflects
Agreed with
this
that.
kind of back, grandmother communication where people just stand up and talk.
Yeah.
But I like the other, I think, and I'm just saying, I think the other slides are nice done, nice laid out, not too many words. The graphics are very visual and very appealing to the eyes.
So go to the next one while we're talking.
The next one is
Next slide.
going there. Hold on. Next slide.
Yeah, so even like this, and then the words come up. So you can talk around it and then you bring it up to contextualize everything or to give the full theoretical thing around it. I like this. So go to the next
as
one.
well as it could be that you first ask the audience what is communication, and then you, when they answer, then you give them your answer, your definition.
I don't get the light bulb thing again.
Yeah, this light bulb. Why do you keep using
I love light bulbs. So. Yeah, we don't get the light bulb.
Remember here, sir, it is to
inform.
Oh, so informing about the light bulb. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. No, I get it.
Okay, all right. Go on.
Yes, sir.
Understand the logics behind it though. So go to the next one. Yeah, I like this. Go on.
Multiracial couple.
Yeah.
This is nice, Georgia.
Yeah, it is. To meet social expectations. Oh, so you're expected to have a husband and have a wife. Okay, all right. I'll go to the next one. To influence. Okay.
And then that's about it, sir.
All right. I like this attempt. I think
Although I think this thank you style looks more like
yeah, a poem or a love letter.
Exactly.
yeah.
I was trying to find a formal one, sir.
Yeah.
I would change this last
But then again my laptop died, so I didn't get the option to change it.
Okay.
I think it's a good attempt with the limited time I had. And this should be very easy for you to build out on. But I think I hope everybody else is understanding why. You see how easily it was for us to have a conversation around this last one, and that is how presentations are. So you start do a presentation, and because something in there remind you of something else, you connect with a person in the audience, and then they start asking a question about this, or they share a personal experience, and then you become what you are presenting, and you as a person become more memorable to them and more memorable to the audience, because you pull out a certain type of emotion from people while at the same time sharing your critical information. So this group shared the critical information in it, but we also had a conversation around it. So it will be more memorable in my mind, it will be more memorable in Mr. Clark's mind after the fact, because of how of the template that they used, what they utilize photos and small amounts of word, and then we can have the conversation around what is communication. Following me? So good attempt. Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
content. Yes, them
Okay.
listen to you, man.
Oh, all right, cool.
Them watch you crack as well.
No, I flow me having us sometime.
They're hearing you, man. We're hearing you.
But they are talking. So let me types of presentations that would have done. I'm not even going to big it up. So this was a presentation for, as you see, club presidents meeting. This is from a field hockey perspective. That was tailored to speak to club presidents who we haven't spoken to in a long while. So I just trying to showcase and the utilization of videos. So if I click on this now, it will showcase what is a brand. I also want to showcase the way I used the infographics, the images, and infographics and images to showcase what I'm trying to say to them. So this makes it, because when somebody sees this, a club president from field hockey sees this, they remember this national team on the right and this national team on the left. While the information that is here will still resonate with them. And it's not too ready and it provides sufficient information. So all I can say to them is 2021 Indoor Pan-Am Cups and everything else. I move on. I don't have to talk about the location. I don't have to talk about the timing. I don't have to talk about any of that. And then from a let me see which one is this. So I can share the something that one, Robin.
Or it's the one that we're going to do?
COVID. No, I was sharing.
Oh, this one that we did. Okay.
Yeah. So this is one that we did when after lockdown we wanted to come back and open up for and a beautiful thing that I don't know how I forget to share this is that what you can do, a very simple and straightforward thing that makes PowerPoint presentation so flexible is after you finish a PowerPoint presentation, you can go ahead and save it as a PDF. You go ahead, you save it as a PDF, and that gives some level of protection to whoever you're sending it to. And it also gives a different type of read to it. So it's a document read that you're giving to people now after the fact. So this is something that I would have done after lockdown. I wanted to do an IMC plan, integrated marketing communication plan, on for was it September? Yeah, from September coming up. And again, I would have said you have to tailor what you're doing based on the audience that you're doing it for. So the audience that we were presenting it to, you have to have content in it. It just can't be charts and graphs and infographics. There has to be
Needed a lot of words because we were presenting to the principal and the two VPs. In other words, senior management. I'm not sure what happened with Panton's connectivity, but we had to ensure. Another thing that I'm not sure Panton remember to include in his presentation is that videos should also, of course, they have to be relevant to what you're talking about, but videos too, you should try and include videos in your presentation. That's very, very important. So the infographics, but you also want to have the video. And that part of what you're trying to do also is to appeal to the various learning styles of your audience. So some persons like to read, other people like to listen, some people like to see things. So you have to ensure that you take these things into consideration when you are going to do a PowerPoint presentation. It's very, very important that you understand that. I think I'm going to re-invite, Pantan has flow and flow never works very, very well for anybody. I want to invite him back because also in it and in that particular plan, we were able to insert the Excel file because we did the budget. And what we did, well, he did it because he's very good at it, was to include the Excel file as an image in the PowerPoint presentation. So we never had to log out of it or click, exit out of it and then show something else because you don't want to do that in the middle of a presentation. And remember now, people, that this fits within the broad context of business communication. Managers, supervisors, individuals, most times you have to do presentations. If you write an annual report and you're going to present it to management, you can't bring the Word document and say, okay, everybody, take a read. You have to extract relevant information and present it to them. And as Panton had mentioned earlier too, when it comes on to numbers, you want to ensure that people understand numbers. You have to think about it in terms of, are you trying to show them trends? If you're trying to show them trends, then of course you have to choose infographics that will allow you to show trends. If you're trying to show fluctuations, that is important. Marginal increase, marginal decrease, no change. All of these things you have to take into consideration when you are doing a PowerPoint presentation. It's very, 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 very critical. I think another thing is not just even the title slide, but how are you going to begin your presentation? How are you going to begin the presentation? Are you going to begin the presentation by showing the title slides, or are you going to begin the presentation by showing like a short clip, like a 30-second clip? like a 30-second clip or something like that. Okay, so you have to, all of these things you have to take into consideration. How are you going to end the presentation? Yes, it is a PowerPoint presentation, but how are you going to end it? Do you, for example, end it where you're providing persons, you're reminding persons about the, yes, you're back?
Yeah, I'm back. So it look like I talk too fast for flow. Yeah, they always stay embarrassing people.
Okay, all right, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, man, I think you were sharing that this had to be a little bit more ready because we were sharing it with senior management.
Right.
And it needed to have that a lot of information in it, as well as this was something that would have been shared with some board members and some board members as well. So it needed to have a lot of content in it. So I'll continue to preach. You apply the knowledge that I'm sharing with you to the different situations that you're in. So a lot of research went into the content that was here, as well as the type of template that would have been used. So going through it real quick, use a lot of charts, use a lot of graphs, different color schemes. It was a very exhaustive plan. Different charts, different graphs for people to try and understand what we're trying to say. And then the budget was placed in it and sent separately, and then we had an implementation raster as well. So
what did you use to create the budget, Panton?
Yeah, I'm going to use the last few minutes in the class
to
show that. So I'll show maybe one more. Where they now? All right, I'm not seeing where that one is open. All right, so this is a marketing plan.
We're not seeing your screen.
Yeah, man, I shared it now. 1 second. So yeah, this is a marketing plan that was done for a football club, so St. Best FC. And again, the template that was used would have been something from a very sporty background because it's football. So the organizational structure here, the committees, goals, objectives. So this would have had to be a little bit really in some sense because of the nature of it and who it was being presented to. So when you're thinking about marketing plans and that kind of thing, they'll be a little bit more ready once you use PowerPoint presentations because it has to have a lot of content in it. That's for marketing plan. Now you're doing a proposal to get a product sold, then that's different. And I'm generally speaking again. So the objectives there, the marketing mix, the strategies, various strategies, the positioning, CRM, the budget, and you have to evaluate every plan that you do. So I'll just go into all right. So let me share. As we are wrapping up, I'll share this Excel sheet. So I've seen the Excel sheet, right? Seen it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'll show you in a short while where I downloaded this from. So Smart Sheet. That's, if you Google that right now, you'll see. So Smart Sheet, that's a hyperlink. So if I click on this, it brings me to Smart Sheet. So there are a number of templates on Smart Sheet: budget, implementation plan, work plan, different types. Some of them comes with predetermined formulas. So like this one comes with a predetermined formula. So the task is build a website. right? And it is what we are budgeting for, but we end up spending 100 internet unstable. Are we still hearing me?
Well, Flo
We're
have been
here.
asking us that every 5 minutes.
No, but it just a while ago unstable internet.
Oh, we're hearing you.
So okay, great. So we actually spent $600,000 instead of 600,123 instead of $750,000. So it shows the under over, which would be we use less than we would have budgeted for. So say for example, you found a template, but it doesn't have the formulas built in. What this template is actually doing, and I hope we're quick to understand this one. So for budget, oh no, this is what I should delete. So budget is essentially saying equals hours times rate plus unit times amount per unit plus fixed cost. So that's what this is actually saying. So 10 hours times hold on, I need to try to put it in. Oh yeah, 10 hours times $500 is $50,000 plus 10 units times 500 per unit, 5,000 per unit, and your fixed costs are 100,000. So that's what your budget. But you end up spending $90,000. I don't know if me lose some people just now. Did I?
This has to be a class by itself.
Yeah. So
Understand.
oh, perfect. We have a quick people them here. So in essence, Excel, and it really actually is a class by itself now. What Excel does, especially for people who not so great at maths, I am able to probably remember a lot of the formulas than some other persons. So it might come a little bit easier to me. But what you can do is you have the formulas tab and you have auto sum. So I put auto sum right here. Oh, there's a formula there already. So you put auto sum right here. And what it does, you are able to see, this is ABCD. You're able to see that to that. And that is how you auto sum. So you auto sum, I put 12 here, 13 here, that there, that there, that there, and it auto sums. You have the other quote unquote complicated one. So you have simple sum, you have that's recently used, you have data and time, maths and trigonometry. So all of these can be used. I may be able to remember some of them or most of them, but all of them are built in Excel. So Excel is built for primarily this function to help with calculations and budgeting and all of those nice stuff. Once you're through with this now, so you're through with all of that, one way you can do this is by just copying it and I have so many things open. Copying it, and then we come here. I'll come to the bottom. Open a new slide. I will paste. So paste it. That's simply it. The challenge with this is because it's from one the formatting from one to the other may make it a little bit easier to read and hard to read. So you can do this for your maximum budget, or you have a summarized budget. And I do this for it, and then at the end, you have a hyperlink that brings you to the template. Maybe another time I can show you how to do hyperlink.
On Wednesday you can.
No, I'll have to confirm that. Yeah, I have no problem doing it still, you know, but I'll have to confirm that. So this is
Yes, sir. So then prepare report.
yes. So you wanna go work tomorrow? Or wanna go work?
No, me run from that already. Me no
No,
want
you
to do it.
can't run. This is why we share the knowledge. Let me see who may talk to.
No.
Renee, this is why we share the knowledge. So you go work and them say report time. You just in a little corner and you just type up. And you're done.
Sir, when they do this, me do the
Present.
variance, but me not put no report for the whole unit together. That's not too much work.
Present, man. But you have to put yourself up for get the promotion, and get the extra money.
Exactly.
You have to do that. Put yourself up, man. Take on the challenge. Take on the challenge. But this is a very I think at the very least the Excel component will have to be another class. I'll definitely come before the end of the semester. I can't promise Wednesday though, but I'll definitely do it before the end of the semester. About Excel. Excel offers a lot. I use Excel very, very frequently because I am okay at math. I'm not exceptional at math. So I don't have to worry myself about calculating nothing. I do in my personal budget, I use Excel. I do in budget at work, I use Excel. I do it budget for somewhere I'm volunteering with, I use Excel. Easy to present the data with. What this can also do is let me open. You can just bring it to a Word document. A computer start most stuff. You can just bring it to a Word document and you change the. No, I should probably show this first. So you want to make it a little easier to read. You do like this. And you center it.
We're not seeing what you're doing.
Oh, wrong thing I sharing. So back to Excel. So you want to make it a little bit easier to read for everybody. You center that, you change it to a nice color. Change it to a nice color, and then you were saying that when you use different colors for here, it make it easier for you to read. So you do that, and then I put a blue there, and I put that there, and I put a purple, and I put a green, maybe a yellow, but I'll have to change the writing. The writing not changing for that, so there was nothing there. So put that there, and then I have, and this probably makes it easier to read for whoever you're presenting it to. All right. I think I went a little fast a while ago. Have any questions?
When are you coming back?
Oh, brilliant. No questions. So everybody understand.
Yes, sir. When are you coming back? This is very interesting, and
Yeah,
I would
man.
like to learn more.
I'll confirm with Robin. So this is I'll confirm with Robin tomorrow if I can do it Wednesday. If not, I won't. It won't be any long time. I just need to. I had a prior engagement for a meeting on Wednesday, so I need to see if I can move that around. But I'll definitely come back and spend a little bit more time on Excel. I promise I won't be able to teach all of Excel because Excel is so exhaustive. Like you have a function named if function, you have a VLOOKUP function, you have if and VLOOKUP function.
Yes, sir.
Well, who's saying that? So Yannick is saying that. So Yannick will help me teach the VLOOKUP. I won't.
You know the ironic thing is I did Excel 1 and 2 in Canada, and I got an A for the course, and I don't remember jack.
Yeah, let me tell you, this is
doing it over and over.
That's what I was about to say, Robin. It's something that it's easy to learn and understand, but if you don't use it, you forget it. Easily. So I recommend that these skills that I use, they help in the personal lives, gentle folks. They help in the professional lives. They help in the volunteer lives. So use them. The more you do it, the better it is for you.
And so that brings us to a close.
That brings us to a close.
So
I'll let you know when I'm coming back. But
yes, I want to sincerely thank Ricardo Panton for being our guest lecturer today, for imparting his knowledge. It was a very interesting lecture. I learned myself, especially about this Excel thing, which I should remember, but I don't remember. I'm sure you guys learned a lot. I think the next time he comes, what I would love is for him to do a PowerPoint from scratch, and let's just use the time to actually do the thing. So they watch you doing it, and then they get a task. and do it,
Okay.
including, and then for the Excel, let's just focus on the budget part because there's a lot. But I think as business students, they'll be doing a lot of budgeting and stuff. So we want to show them how to use Excel to do the budget and then put it as a part of their presentation to management or whatever. So sincere thanks to you, sir.
All right, so I'll make those adjustments for the next time.
Right. So it's a
What we
really
teach you
interesting
will be more practical.
lecture. All right. So have a good evening, everybody. Good night. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Panton, we're going to send you the practice question so that you come prepared for it, and so you come prepared for class on Wednesday. So
or when I'm coming,
or when you're coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, man. All right.
Alrighty.
But send
Thank
it
you,
still,
sir.
no, Robin, so I can have it. Yeah, you're welcome, gentlefolks. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
And remember, just email me the lecture, Panton, so I can share it with them.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Mr. Panton, and the link to the things to download. We can't copy it from the chat.
It's in the presentation, man.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool.